Previously on Elysia Rising.
Atta, you've been able to insinuate that the story of what happens to people that die in Elysia is likely a lie. You hear through the walls a voice from outside bellow, Odamas!
Quickly, inside. Come on, Catherine.
Alright, you're back! I've been waiting ages.
Where have you been?
Sensing your presence, the circle of watchers slowly shift and part to give you access to the fighting ring.
Why have you come here?
Because I've got nothing left.
Two glassy orange lenses that peer at you from this figure as it leans heavily on one leg. An iron mask underneath the lenses concealing his face.
Everyone that was at the keep that night lost something, didn't they?
Welcome to Elysia, the jewel of the north. On our gilded streets, fortune and fame can be found by anyone.
Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm playing Magpie, an ace of our lurk.
Hi, I'm Nate, and I'm playing Cavern, a dragon-scent slide.
Hi, I'm Meg. I'm playing Frida, a wolfkin cutter.
Hi, I'm JC, and I'll be playing Algernon, an ace of our spider.
Hello, I'm Errol. I am playing Atta, a goblin whisperer.
And my name is DM Dan. I will be the games master on this adventure.
So come on in and marvel at our wonders. Make sure you see the beautiful views we have to offer, and don't mind the ghosts. They're friendly, really. Grab yourselves a seat and make yourselves welcome in the city of Elysia.
Hello, and welcome back to Explorers of Elsewhere's Elysia Rising. Hi, I'm DM Dan. These are our intrepid criminals of the Lost and Void. How you doing? You good? Good break? It was a very brief 10-minute break.
Yeah. Very. Which is why we've all changed outfits.
Yeah, power of right. We're just into the costume change life here on Explorers of Elsewhere. Right, so last we left off, we were delving into Frida's hangover-esque hangover movie inspired escapades over the last week, whilst we were all busy keeping a low profile. Thanks to your recently attained wanted level. Frida had notably gone AWOL, and having found her looking slightly worse for wear on the steps of Cadwallader Manor, we are diving in. I reckon we just pick up immediately where we left off, where we left you, Frida, which is toe-to-toe in the middle of what some odd fighting ring in Saints Hollow. Toe-to-toe with a masked figure clad in some strange kind of all-body leather and mechanical suit, a large black cloak draped over his shoulders, a mechanical heavy wheezing as his chest and shoulders rise and fall with each laboured breath, and his words lingering.
Everyone who was at the keep that night lost something, didn't they?
What do you do?
Frida is initially caught off guard by the sort of, this presence that has, to be honest, somewhat haunted her dreams since the inferno at the keep. But then sort of steels herself and sort of squares her jaw and says, "Well, I've not got anything left to lose now. So, this operation of yours, what's the end game?"
The figure is motionless apart from the visible breathing, punctuated by that kind of whining, wheezing sound. And the orange lenses just stare blankly at you.
We seek to save Elysia from herself. There is a rot, a plague that infests her very foundations, and only through burning it out can we see her thrive again. It is not in my interests to pressure anyone to follow in our visions for the future. So you are free to stay or go as you wish. But know this: we never forget her face.
In my line of business, I've heard a lot about the different ways in which the different factions across the city think that Elysia can be saved. What makes you think that your way's any better than anyone else's?
Because I have seen the faces of those who wish to lead Elysia further into the pit she finds herself in. I have seen the faces of betrayal, of gluttony, of pride, of foolishness, and I know they are all wanting.
Well, the experiences in my life would suggest I agree with you there.
The figure stands up straight, and you notice at this point he's kind of been stood with a bit of a hunch, but you almost hear sort of like the creaks as this figure stands to full height, and then seemingly in quite a lot of pain raises an arm to place it on your shoulder.
There is always a place for lost and wayward souls in the kindling. Together, we will see Elysia to a purified future.
And you notice at this point the figure slumps slightly, seemingly in pain. And a number of the kindling around you kind of move forward to catch this cloaked figure. But he holds a gauntleted hand out to stop them. and takes a step away from you and
Think on my words. When the upcoming war begins.
and decidedly more kind of haggard in movement, the figure shuffles towards the edge of the circle, which parts to allow him to leave. And you notice he doesn't return to the throne-like chair that he was originally sat on, but instead disappears into the shadow, and you hear a door opening somewhere else in this location.
Right. Well then, what now?
So, over the space of the next few days that you found yourself in amongst the kindling, there were you were privy to, like surprisingly, quite openly privy to a number of like attacks around the city. The individual that you were spoken to, you would hear through sort of like hushed whispers among the other kindling. The figure is known, the name that he is given is Velka, which you've also heard it, like some refer to the figure as the Infinite, but it would seem that the actual name is Velka. Yeah, there are a number of kind of staged attacks through the city. You notice that they seem to be the kindling are launching assaults and attacks on the children of Aya, especially their sort of more kind of evangelical pushes throughout Elysia, drumming up support for the faith, but also kind of running kind of street battles with the guard. The most prominent of which was an assault on Bell Tower Prison. Yes, I know, it's very exciting, isn't it? Yeah, an assault on Bell Tower Prison, which saw a group of them descend upon the prison and begin launching alchemical fires at the prison guards. Were you part of any of these attacks? Because you were always given a choice.
I think Frida would have taken part in some of these activities in less of a prominent role, but I know she certainly wouldn't have felt much remorse for any attacks, certainly against the children of Aya. But yeah, she would have been there, but maybe keeping like on the back foot a little bit, so to sort of keep recognition to a minimum.
Did you join in the attack on the prison, on Bell Tower Prison? It was more of a statement piece, just a run and gun, really. Yeah.
I'd say Frida would have been trying to make it seem that she was as serious about joining this faction as she possibly could. I think she would have, where she would have probably drawn a line was if any of those attacks were against the sort of civilian population, directly against the civilian population.
So something you noticed is that all of the attacks seemed to be targeted at institutions.
Yeah.
And the attacks were never targeted against the peoples of Elysia. But through his kind of sermons and preachings throughout your time there, like you realised that the targets of the attack were what Velka believed to be this kind of internal rot that infested Elysia, and the attacks are almost designed to sort of like cut away and cauterize the wounds. That was the idea of it.
Do I get a sense of what? Because I think Frida would be intelligent enough to realise that if you start cutting off the limbs of power like that, it creates a vacuum for other things to fill in its place. So do I get the sense whether the kindling are trying to fill in those spaces themselves, or orchestrate who fills those spaces, or are they just pure chaos? Are they pure just the rich chaos?
One thing you wouldn't have noticed in your time there, like Velka would always preempt and kind of conclude attacks across the city with these kind of sermon type speeches, but it was always about the process of kind of purification and like cleansing Elysia of this poison. But yeah, there was very little kind of talk of what would come next. As someone who would have grown up in anger, you get the feeling that Velka is someone who's kind of stuck, who's hooked on some sort of sentiment of anger. You also noticed during one of his, whenever the word betrayal is used, that word seems much more kind of barbed.
Yeah, I think
something has happened to Velka.
I think Frida would actually be quite attracted by that prospect, and that kind of would definitely recognize a kindred spirit in that. Sure. And I think she'd definitely be sort of struggling against this sort of, this pull to just give in to the anger herself and just, fall in deep. And then the sort of reasonable, rational part of her brain that, has sort of come to learn through her crew and her affiliations that there's more to life than just revenge and betrayal.
Yeah, you certainly get the feeling that those sort of like nihilistic tendencies, the draw from those who seemingly would have nothing left to lose, that the city of Elysia has all but forgotten or kind of ground into the dirt, they fill the ranks of the kindling. The sentiment of, we don't know what is better, but it's not this kind of thing. It's not the current status quo. So go on.
Oh, I was going to say, while she's there, is there a way she could see if she could get close to the Infinite in some way, find out a little bit more about his deal and why he's the way he is? What's with the suit?
So, you notice that apart from the sermons, seem to be the only times you see Velka in person. Other than that, you notice that he seems to be a very particularly kind of private and discreet person, like only coming out for public appearances, but you notice that each public appearance seems to take a toll on him. And there are whispers, there are rumours amongst the other kindling. Some say that he is in fact the very essence of the wild flame, and it's his essence that ignited the keep and consumed the heathenish traitor Algarve. Others say that within the suit it is a collection of tortured and tormented souls seeking some sort of vengeance for whatever it is they're seeking vengeance for. But the rumours never really line up. They always kind of err to the more fantastical. But you're never able to kind of pin him down to, in fact, kind of clarify these for yourself. But you do note, you know, it is clear to you that he is capable of achieving some incredible kind of seemingly impossible tasks. Like, you saw the fire of the Ruby Keep consuming stone, like burning magically and hot enough that it was, you know, effectively eating the stone. And yet, despite watching him willingly walk into the flames with Algarve, he's still here. So there is something about him. Very quickly, as you think back and, you know, relay some of this to your crewmates, as you glance over at Magpie, when you joined the kindling for the attack on the prison, why didn't you why didn't you make yourself known to Magpie, who was there? So after the attack started, a number of the kindling running forwards and launching these kind of alchemical fires at the walls and the guards, and down a street, you saw Magpie in her, you know it to be a telltale cloak, before being smuggled away by, you think, Songbird.
Because first off, I know that Magpie can look after herself, and secondly, I didn't want to blow my cover.
Sure. Okay.
But if the thing's not hairy, I would have stepped in.
Okay. Well, with that in mind, yeah, Frida, that brings us back up to the present, and we now find the five of you, like, in Cabola de Manor. How much of your week are you regaling the other crewmates with?
I think I'll tell them about, you know, my intent to sort of garner information. I will tell them about my involvement in some of the sort of the goings on that the kindling have done. I'll relay everything about all that I know about the Infinite and you know, and the sort of rumours surrounding his being and his presence, the fantastical and the not so fantastical. I think what Frida probably won't tell them is that there's a rather strong part of her that wants to go back.
Ooh. Okay. Wow. Keeping that stum.
Just gonna burn it all down.
Is there? So as Frida kind of finishes recounting her past week, are there any questions from the class?
So you've been industrious?
Oh, aye, it's been a busy old week. What have you lot been up to?
I just want to linger on this point about you joining the kindling for a second longer, if that's okay. Are you sure about this? Are you okay?
I'm all right. You know, I'm a big girl, can look after myself, and I thought, you know, why should you and Algernon have all the oh my gosh, I can't say the bloody word.
Subterfuge, Frida.
That's the one. I knew you'd know it.
I suppose we have been cozying up to the Hollow, haven't we? Well, sorry, the is the Hollow, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's I suppose the more movers and shakers in this city we can keep happy, the better.
Well, I am in a I guess in a prime position now. I'm garnering trust with them. For what it's worth, I'm not sure I trust them. I guess I wanted to get the measure of the man who can walk into flames so easily.
Did you find out anything about that? Like how he did it?
Not really, nothing that isn't outside, the realms of fancy, to be honest.
You got a good look at his outfit though, didn't you? Up
I
close.
did. I got a good look at it.
So it would have struck you as like you've never seen anything like it. Like a seemingly thick leather-like substance, metal plates and sort of like metal caps, and there seemed to be sort of some sort of hard structures beneath the surface, while others were kind of soft around the joints, for example. One thing you noted, like the mask in particular, seeing it up close, you realize that there are two lenses atop what was effectively a mash of sort of like metal wiring and plating, kind of all coming into this kind of chevron-like mouth guard. But you just noted that there was not a single part of him that you could see that was his actual body. Everything, he was completely encased in this suit.
Did that suit in any way look familiar to me?
No, only in so much as you saw it. Like, it was the same suit that he was wearing on the night of the keep attack, but otherwise no. This looks completely kind of bespoke. You would wager almost custom made in a way.
I guess the magpie would be wondering what Atta thinks of Frida's description, being a bit of a tinkerer, alchemist, ooky spooky lady herself.
Atta definitely waited as part of this conversation, but would have asked about the alchemical fire that Frida, you would have been given some during the prison thing, right? Just did you notice anything weird about it? Did you
save a bit?
Yeah. Did you remember where it was kept and given out from?
Can I flash back to maybe pocketing some?
Ooh. Daisy. Daisy's very excited.
Daisy's
about
like,
flashback.
Yes, no roles needed.
You absolutely can. You absolutely can. So you flash back, and it's the eve of the attack on the prison, and during Velka's kind of speech, kind of pre-battle speech, you noticed a number of sort of crates being kind of brought out by other kindling members, and sort of as a top surprise off, these crates just being filled with it was almost like a kind of wine bottle type crates, where it's all divided up into rows and columns, but it was just filled with bottles of this very kind of bright orange, very treacly looking liquid. And if you want to attempt to pocket one, let's call that a risky standard prowl.
Oh boy.
Finesse. Prowl or finesse?
Oh, let's do finesse, because I've got a Pippin finesse. Risky standard, yeah. Oh boy.
Do you want to do anything to...
Oh boy! Yeah, I keep forgetting I can do things, can't I? Let's
you can push yourself for a thing.
Yeah,
How much
let's
stress is it? Is it 1 or 2? Push.
2 stress.
do it.
I'll also add a devil's bargain.
Oh. Okay.
Regardless of what happens, a rival faction finds out you were affiliated with the attack.
Oh, it's so vague.
A rival faction of the Kindling will know that you were associated with the attack.
Oh boy.
Okay. Okay.
You taking it?
Oh, sod it, why not?
And if you want to go triple or nothing, you can then use your Wolfkin ability to get an extra, to get 2 upgrades instead of 1.
I forgot about that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, alright. So what's that? Plus 3 now?
So 3, yeah.
Plus 3, 2 stress. Risky standard. Yeah.
You can improve your effect if you so wish. You can trade your position for even more effect if you so wish, so you can make it a desperate greater. So that you can do for free, but you've still got 3 upgrades to add to this.
Thing. So it'd be like if I did effect great, like risky great, then it'd be 2 plus 2 dice, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do risky great plus 2 dice.
Okay.
Okay? I hope everyone's got their fingers crossed.
Literally have.
Ooh! Okay.
Okay.
That's
You
not a
do
no.
it.
It's not
There's a
no.
consequence. You suffer harm, a complication occurs, you have reduced effect, you end up in a desperate position.
You just burn your little fingers.
Okay. So, the complication. A long-term clock entitled
Oh no.
The
Whoa.
Watch Investigates.
Whoa.
Wait, what? What was that?
The watch
So the
investigates.
complication is you are clocked by one of the prison guards at Bell Tower,
Oh, man.
and they're following up on the attack. Also, during the attack, Magpie, as you were led away by Songbird, this isn't the place for you now. You remember her saying, unbeknownst to you, Songbird then looks back over her shoulder to spy a familiar-looking wolfkin woman amongst the crowd of the Kindling. But you managed to get a bottle undamaged, 1 full vial of this kindling alchemical fire for Atta's investigations.
Great success.
Do not drink it. So yes, with all of that, anything else from the crew, or shall we start our mausoleum downtime?
Go on then.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start at the top. So payoff. Probably, much to Frida's chagrin, who's going to meet Umi to hand off the ghost bottles? And are you moving the ghosts to a number of bottles, or just keeping them all in one?
Don't keep them all in one. That's cramped.
I kind of feel it would also give, well, if Umi thinks about it hard, which maybe isn't very Umi-like,
Yeah.
then it might give them clues as to what is going on in the mausoleum. We don't really want to give the Hollow any more information than we really...
Okay.
But if it's very risky to try and transfer ghosts to individual bottles, then...
I say chuck me a quick controlled standard, like a tune or tinker. Probably a tune.
Controlled, standard, and if do I want to push myself so it's a little. I get 3 dice.
Everyone's cracking on the stress in downtime.
Well, then I might not be able to get rid of it, so.
One way to look at it is if you take 2 more stress, you can't overindulge.
Right, I rolled anyway.
Okay, no, nice. So 6. So yes, you successfully managed to. It takes you a little while to figure it out because there's a point where you're like holding the orb with all of the ghosts in, just kind of like, dong, like banging them together in the hopes that they'll just transfer. But no. For the rest of you in Cadwallader Manor, there's a few. There's a few moments where sort of like all the candles in the room that you're in just kind of get blown out, and you hear sort of like this wailing coming from upstairs, followed presumably by Atta going, "Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry." But yes, you successfully managed to transfer. You divvy up the souls, and you have got the prerequisite 6 that you require, plus the spirit bottle with Tavarian in it. So yeah, who's handing this off to Umi?
I think Atta should probably take the lead on this since she's the expert, but I'd be happy to go with her.
Can anybody that's good at talking to people,
that's
like regular people, can also come with me?
That's not me.
Regular people.
I mean, Umi's not regular people, is she?
Please don't leave the weirdos unescorted.
Yeah, Atta might not come back.
Okay, so Atta and Algernon. So yes, you head back to sort of like that sewer hideout beneath the Celestry, and like you might have thought that she was a bit kind of excitable when you first met her, but when you produce these 6 kind of ghost orbs, Umi is all but bouncing off the walls. And just like the frenetic talking to herself just seems even more kind of frequent and lengthy than it was before. So there's a moment, Algernon, where you feel that kind of that sense of impatience as Umi just goes on a massive kind of monologue to herself, whilst sort of like looking at the orb, shaking it, and then like watching this kind of miasma just floating around inside it. Yes, these will do very, very well. You have done exactly what we have asked, and this makes me very, very pleased. We are hoping that we can potentially do some future business with you if you can continue to bring us fine specimens. Shall we say 1 coin per soul, and to show you, here is 6 coin for 6 souls.
Sounds like a deal, old girl.
And like she becomes so excited, she just goes like catatonic.
What does that look like when Umi goes?
Physically.
You just hear sort of like little pops and squeaks coming from her throat, but they're not actually verbalizing into like words.
Love Umi.
But yes, Umi seems extremely happy. And yeah, if you want to do some more stuff on the side, if you are able to get more ghosts one way or the other, she will pay 1 coin per ghost. Go on.
I think on the way walking to where Umi is with Algernon, or traveling in a more like, secure manner, I think Atta will ask Algernon, do you think they're gonna do bad things to the spirits?
Well, we saw their little workshop in the old bakery, so I imagine so. Does that bother you, Atta?
Yeah, Atta seemed after like the high of the heist, Atta has seemed quite like low and sad, which is not necessarily very Atta-like. But she's also drawn on each of the ghost bottles like a pair of glasses for one and a mustache for the other, and like a hat for one of them, and kind of given them little
There's your
hello.
problem, Atta. You mustn't get attached.
Hello, my name is Gloria. But we've all had people maybe that aren't here anymore, or like people that might not be here anymore, and I wouldn't want anyone I know getting poked and prodded in their spiritual bits.
Well, listen, we also saw what Erdelmerce's people were doing down in the mausoleum. I'm not sure they were any more at rest from where we took them to where they're going.
Would it be okay if I asked Umi if I could maybe just do like a little, just see them do one of their experiments and then leave? Would that be weird?
I think that would be an exceptional idea, Atta. Frida is off doing her reconnaissance. We can do a little of our own.
Okay. So tell you what, as a future downtime activity, you can join in on some hollow experimentation.
Okay, thanks.
Cool. So you've earned some coin. Next step is to look at how much XP you've all gained. So whistle stop tour. Let's start from the bottom. Frida was not part of the job, so we'll figure that out in a sec. Cavern.
So I did one desperate roll in.
You did a desperate attune. So pop that in.
Get one in reserve, which is lovely.
And then yes, did you do your specific playbook trigger?
I feel like I was quite deceitful, especially to Lulu.
Yeah. I think everything you did was on brand for Cavern, so let's call that 2.
And because I did my emergent divinity, can I also use that as sort of like a background?
Of your heritage? Yeah, sure.
So including the desperate, that will be 4 overall.
You did not struggle. Yeah, it would have been a terrible place to have struggled with your vices. So yes, 4 XP for Cavern. Okay, Algernon. I don't have any desperates recorded, but did you do playbook specific things?
I think I can maybe argue for one. I sort of diverted attention away when we were getting some attention from the guard by using sort of blackmail and conspiracy, or trying to.
Yeah. You palmed off that liquor onto the passing sergeant. Okay, very good. Your drives, beliefs, heritage, background. Did you express those?
I don't remember that I did.
Could I argue?
Oh yeah, go on.
I was going to say, could I argue that you convinced Odelmerce to use the rat traps? That you said, I'm starting up a new business.
I did do that.
Traps?
I did do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we'll definitely have one for that. And I don't remember you having any struggles with your vital trauma.
I don't think so.
Okay, so a 2 XP for Algie.
Did Algernon in the last heist do anything around like the old boys network? I seem to remember something.
I was maybe hoping the guard who was going to catch us was one, but he
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Came down to the dice.
Was not au fait with the jolly boating weather with which you are very much au fait. Okay, so yeah, 2 for Algernon. Atta. You did a desperate. You did a desperate tinker. So 1 in your Ujima flip, in your insight.
Okay.
And yeah, for your were you particularly whispery?
So my whispery activities included prepping balls, using balls, and creating a special ball for Cavern. So
And teleporting ratty poppers.
true. Yes.
Okay, so yes, very much Atta's domain, so let's call that 2. Did you express belief, strive, heritage, or background?
The only thing that I could sort of argue there is using rats. Big on the background rats, street stuff.
Well,
Love
I guess
asthma rats.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll go with that for, let's say, 1.
Okay.
And struggled with issues from your vice or traumas. So your vice being ghosts and bubble and everything, but I don't think there were very many struggles. As the job went, it went swimmingly well for everyone except Catherine.
It did. I'm very happy with 4.
Okay, we'll call it the 4 of them. And Magpie.
So I did a desperate command roll that didn't go very well.
You did.
So I can't remember. I don't know if I put the pip already in my resolve. I don't think I did.
I don't think you did.
No. Okay, fair enough. I'll add that. I definitely did a bit of skulking and sneaking. I've got a note here from session 9 where I prowled about. And I also did a bit of lockpick, so I think I'd probably get an XP for that.
Sure.
In terms of expressing my background's belief drive, not a huge amount. It does strike me that trying to be all commanding and everybody come this way was probably me trying to imitate people like my mother, who are really good at doing all that, aristocratic ordering people about stuff. I'm just not very good at it. So I think I was trying to emulate that. I was trying to channel my sort of noble
Channel your inner mother. Yes.
parentage. Yes, exactly. So maybe there's one in there for me for that. So maybe 3.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good.
Thank you.
Wunderbar. So we had 3, 4, 2, 3. I think it was for Cavern. So Frida, why don't we just go ahead and pop 3 XP in Frida's playbook as well?
Okay, that's fine. I think I probably would have, done something coercive or violent at least once in my week off.
Well, you were certainly coercive and or violent in your week with the kindling. So, yeah, we'll call it that. Right. So next on the agenda is the crew. So the crew. Did you execute a smuggling operation or acquire new clients or contraband sources? I'm gonna say yes, because your new contraband is the dead.
Yay!
So 1 XP for that. Did you contend with challenges above your current station? Yes, you went up against Odalmerce. Did you bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one? We recently changed your reputation to daring. I think that was particularly daring to go right into the mausoleum and pluck out Tavarian. So we'll say 3 so far. Did you express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew? I'm going to say yes, because the whole purpose of the mission was like Tavarian, and like everything that you built around it was for the sole purpose of what's kind of set you on this path in the first place. So I'm going to call that 4 XP. 4 XP, 1, 2, 3, which ticks you over to a new level. On the crew grade, which gets you a new upgrade, well, 2 new upgrades or a new ability. So I think we're going to figure out what that's going to be kind of off camera, because there's quite a lot of options, and I will talk about it in the episode 10 faction actions. Let's do that. Cool. Also, Rep, We need to swing back round to rep. So, due to your leverage ability, you automatically earn 3 rep. You went up against the pillars. The pillars are a tier 3, I believe. Sorry, the chain bearers are a tier 3. So that is 2 above your station. So another 2 rep. And then people knew about it, so you'll keep the rep. So that's 5 rep, which also increases your hold. 1, 2, 3.
Question is, are we strong enough to kick Master Van out the running now?
Maybe. Well, so you are now, you have successfully, if you want to pay the coin, so have we got 8 coin amongst us? We've got
I've
6.
got 1.
I got 3.
Have you?
Yeah. I've just
Can
been
we?
holding it.
We've
3
got 6 from
personal
Umi.
coin? Wow.
Bear in mind, you'll have to pay 2 coin to the Oneshi for living in their den.
Yeah.
But so we've got 4 from 2 of you. Anyone else chipping in? How much of the 4 that you got from this job are you popping in, or do you want to use all of it and that's your 8?
Makes sense. Atta
Yeah.
hasn't got any coins to their name.
Sure. Well, the 2 of you that funneled money out, there's coin in the gang still. Okay, so yeah, you are able to upgrade to a strong tier 1 hold. So you're getting towards the big leagues. And we've discussed this off camera. If you were to upgrade, you're going to go for a cover operation. So from here on forth, you're able to establish different methods of dispersing heat on yourselves, and we'll figure out what that looks like at some point in the near future as well. Now, the heat. So you are currently on 2 heat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not gonna count because so I'm fair about this. Right. After the score of conflict with an opponent, your crew takes heat according to the nature of the operation.
It's only a little mausoleum.
Little one.
I'm going to say that the mausoleum job was contained, standard exposure.
Okay.
2 heat. Because the 3 of you that were on site pretty much kept your covers up, and all of the freneticness came from the Shield of Elysia attacking, which would have arguably diverted attention away from you all.
That gives them heat, right?
Yes. Yes. Add +1 heat for a high profile or well-connected target.
Nah.
Absolutely.
Now,
The
Odalmus,
Bastion.
never heard of him.
The Bastion of Odalmus' Empire. So that is 3
No.
heats you're currently on. Add +1 heat if you're at war with another faction. No. Adds 2 heat if killing was involved. No. That
They
had
were
already happened.
dead.
And Cavern, you noticed from when you were kind of exfiltrating that the shields, the shield bearers that were defeated were like they were tied up, they weren't dead. So it looks like Odalmus's mercenaries are pretty on point there. That is 3 heat, everyone.
3 heat.
Except someone went supernova.
No, that's already been put on there.
That little smile.
Which is 5 heat.
Oh,
1,
no.
2, 3, 4, 5. Which takes you to 7 of 9.
No, that's ridiculous.
Let's go start a war! Yeah!
Your heat, your wanted level has not risen. Okay,
Not yet.
so not yet. So
We haven't got our second GTA star.
next up is entanglements.
Uh-oh. we got an entanglement, Dan?
We do.
Is it of the sexy kind?
I was going to say, the only entanglements we should be getting into is somebody getting tangled up in Cavern's juicy thighs.
I mean, you never know. That might be the reason for this very entanglement.
Maybe.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh,
We'll
no.
play that out in a sec.
Oh no.
So downtime. So you each have 2 each. So let's start from my top and go to the bottom. Magpie.
Yes.
What are magpies to?
I want to reduce heat. Not reduce heat. I want to.
Someone else's problem.
That would actually be a very good idea, wouldn't it? Reducing heat right now. So maybe I will do that. But first of all, I'm going to indulge my vice.
Mm-hmm.
Time to
Where are you
indulge.
doing it, and how are you doing it? What are you doing?
What am I doing? I haven't done any public civic good in a while, have I? That's a thing I could do. I think in my noble identity, I'm going to go and, I don't know, can I mentor disaffected Elysian youths? I don't know.
You can head to one of the orphanages.
Yeah.
Do a
Sure.
reading hour.
Yeah, reading hour at the orphanage. Yeah, I'm going to put some time in. I'm going to give back.
Okay. Please roll me your first indulge.
Remind
That's
me what
gonna
I
be-
roll, because I haven't done this in a while.
Roll your 2 dice on the left. Indulge vice, pop in your stress, and it's a 1 dicer off the back of your resolve.
Just one. Oh, blimey. I can't overindulge, which is the good news. I could underindulge. Look at that.
Oh, nice.
Look
Reading
at that.
hour is where it was at.
It's
She
6.
just bloody loves kids. She just loves reading.
Bloody love reading to kids. Yes. So I read.
You've done well in not seeing them as nothing more than mushroom mulch.
It's just actually connecting with some living humans has been good for me today.
Sure.
I say humans, I use the term loosely.
Sure.
Right, and so probably I was gonna train, but then I
Uh-huh.
realised I could reduce heat for the party. So I'm maybe when I go to. I was thinking for a second, could I do something useful at one of my various parties that I have to show up to sort of continue showing my face in the noble social circles? I could sort of start really kind of, well, maybe, what could I do? Could I start a rumour about, I don't know, that I heard that the Shield is going after... Well, it's not even a rumour, is it? I mean, just sort of spreading that news that the Shield is going after the Chainbearers, and just kind of bolstering that idea that it was the Chainbearers, maybe, rather than...
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
as a project, as a downtime project, you can like go after another faction. So whether it's kind of whether you're actually attacking them or
it's more just
something or
trying
spreading rumours.
trying to kind of spread a rumour that takes the attention off investigating us in connection with what happened at the mausoleum. So it's heat. Yeah,
go for it.
But it feels more social, and I don't know if that's the best approach for Magpie when she much prefers to prowl when she can. But that's a very good cat. Very good cat, isn't it?
Worst case scenario, you will reduce some heat regardless of what you roll. It's just a case of how
that's
much.
true. That's true. I might as well try.
So, in which case,
I guess my sway. Am I using my sway or my more of a consort, isn't it?
Consort.
Yeah,
really.
I haven't got any pips in that, but Okay. Yes.
So if you 2 dice on the right and do a 0 dice fortune.
Okay. So that's a 1.
So that's a 1. Okay.
Whoops. Sorry. So we get 1 pip of heat off.
1 pip of heat off the
Right.
fruit. Yes.
Right. Okay. That's better than nothing.
No, exactly. Right. After Magpie is Atta. So, Atta, what is your first downtime activity?
My first downtime activity, I think I will. I don't know what you want to categorize going and spending quality time with the Hollow would be. Would it be acquiring an asset, or would it be
Effectively, it's a long-term
Right.
project, but obviously we're
yeah, truncating.
cheat coding long-term projects.
So I did have an idea around acquiring an asset for downtime, which would be we don't. Even though Atto is very into ghosts, don't have very many repositories of information about ghosts, and obviously, if Hollow are doing like experimentation on spirits and ghosts, then as long as Atto is incredibly well behaved, she takes no rats to this encounter. Then perhaps the asset could be access to some kind of library or information or notes, like maybe not full. I don't know, whatever you think.
Sure.
Is appropriate.
Yeah. So what? Let's have a look. So if you acquire, I think what we'll do, given that we've changed how like long-term projects work, like acquire assets is like the temporary, long-term project would be the permanent acquisition of. So let's just call like acquiring an asset a project as well. Similar to like we did for crafting. So with that in mind, effectively you're looking to secure access to like literature documentation on the spirits.
But it will be like all Hollow
Yeah.
related. So.
I would argue, you would. It would seem that they're quite they're experts in their field, for better or worse. Okay, how are you approaching the Hollow to see what you can get?
Maybe just a really nicely arranged bunch of rat tails as a gift, a peace offering gift. But no, I think the way that Atto is approaching the Hollow is in a very helpful manner. Like, so she requested to like observe, and she will take extensive notes for the Hollow's purposes. She doesn't intend to take those notes with her. She's basically trying to be a good grad student of like for that day in order to kind of ingratiate her presence and try be allowed back.
Okay. I'm on board with that. Which skill are you using?
Ooh, I think this could either be a study, or it could be in an attune if I want to go for like more hands. If they seem like they want hands-on help, I'll go attune. If they seem like they don't want hands-on help, I'm still a little bit weird, I'll go for a study.
They are more than happy with either, so it's whatever Atta, whether she wants to go theoretical or practical.
Oh, Atta always goes practical.
Okay. In which case, roll me an attune. You can start buffing that up with pushing yourselves and whatnot.
I'll push myself.
No matter what happens, this is a harsh one. I'll be very surprised if you take it. No matter what happens during your time with the Hollow, they get rumbled, and you're caught up in the fallout.
Oh no, we don't need no more heat. we need less heat.
Okay.
For sure. But I will push myself.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make the decision of whether I want an extra dice or whether I want to go for a greater effect.
So I'm going to say it's going to start as a risky standard. Whilst you're in your element, you are also working with like relatively new ideas, and you're also trying to match the borderline insanity of the people around you. They do great teachers. They do not make. So you're having to patch up a lot of gaps, which means, yeah, risky standard to begin with.
Okay. As much as I would love to go for a greater effect, I'm feeling nervous today, so I'm going to add an extra dice for pushing myself, and then I think that's the roll.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I shall roll. Oh dear.
Look at all those threes.
So good for you rolled that extra,
Yeah.
that fourth dice, isn't it? Okay, so a 4. You do it, but there's a consequence. The cost of acquiring the knowledge that you did from the Hollow was that during one of the experiments, one of the spirit orbs fell from a countertop and smashed. And it took slightly too long for the other people in the room to banish, to destroy the spirit that began siphoning your soul energy off. You're going to have a 2nd level harm.
Ooh.
Soul drained.
No. Mean.
You can resist.
I get the resist would be resolve. I don't get to add my special. Yeah, I don't get to add my special armor to that.
You've also got a lot of stress already.
Second level harm is pretty rough, though, isn't it? That's what Cavern had for.
-1 dice. But you could, like your second, you could get it healed. You can also spend coin to get extra downtimes if you want to de-stress and heal. Or you can spend rep, like crew rep, to call in favors.
And I would roll resolve to try and resist it.
So 1 dice.
How much stress have you got?
Resolve is it just 1?
So you've got 1 skill in the resolve tree, so it's 1 dice resists. Yeah. Atta is currently at 7 of 9 stress.
Yeah.
So you'd need a 5 or 6.
I think I'm gonna have to take the I'll have to take the harm and then.
Okay. Soul drains. I'll add that to your sheet. Okay. So you feel like in the aftermath of the attack, you feel somewhat wheezy. And yeah, anything kind of magic related, anything kind of ooky spooky related going forward, that relies on your kind of soul energy is going to be at -1 dice.
Okay.
What's your? But you at least you know you know what has happened to you. You've got the books. You've got the knowledge on now. What's your second downtime?
Second downtime is going to be sorry, I can't reduce any heat. I'm going to reduce some stress. Do my best. Is it just? It's just 1 dice from the thingy down in the left, right?
Yeah. So dice on the left. 1 dice indulge vice. Okay. You're at 7 stress.
Oh no! Look at that. It do be like that sometimes.
Do you want to buy another downtime?
I don't have any coins, Dan.
Well, the crew's got 3 in the kitty.
that's a crew decision. Maybe crew finishes all of their downtimes and then.
Sure. We'll do a vote. Okay. In which case, next. Okay, so Algernon. What's Algernon's first downtime?
Cool. I'm going to try and reduce some of this stress I have. I've been flirting with 4 or 5 for a while.
Sure. How are you doing it?
I'm going to be developing some of the pictures that I've been experimenting with, using the foresight chemical, the magic bath. And then I'm also going to try and get some kind of premonition that might help us reduce heat.
Okay, so double whammy.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Sergeant Leach, the guard sergeant who harassed us before.
Mm-hmm. Who the mausoleum's newest recruit?
Oh, did he die?
No, he that was the name that Kavrin gave. During the interview, yes.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I mean, not as good as dying, but.
So in that case, I'm just going to use the foresight to reduce some stress.
Sure. Okay.
Hey guys, welcome to another video.
And look up something on Blades and it's. Just ignore that.
That is how
At least it
Algernon
wasn't-
de-stresses, just watches YouTube videos.
It could have been the Pornhub intro music. That would have been even more glorious. Okay. Right. So yes, Algernon, go ahead and roll me a 2 dice indulge.
2 dice, 5 stress.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Interesting.
Okay. So you go for a little dip,
Oh no.
but a bit too long. You go a bit pruny.
Oh.
So
First time this has
you-
happened. Exciting.
So you've cleared all your stress, but you have to choose one of the following. You attract trouble and additional entanglement. You brag about your exploits plus 2 heat. You vanish for a few weeks,
Okay, bye.
or your current purveyor, so your supply of foresight, cuts you off.
Oh.
I mentioned a while ago that my supply of foresight is limited.
Oh. You've burned through your last reserves.
Okay.
Oh no.
In which case, so are you tapped?
I'm tapped.
Okay. So as you lost in the maze of kind of visions and premonitions, whilst kind of floating in the ensuite bathtub, what is it you're hoping to see when you're under?
So Algernon uses this to just get all kinds of information, sort of like a word cloud of dirt and blackmailable information and intelligence that he can use just to try and get the upper hand on anybody, or to get a little bit of insight into people's lives. And yeah, it does burn through his eyes and take him over a little bit. And his mind starts to wander, thinking about all of the military people that he's trying to get off our case. He's thinking about Blackthorn. He's thinking about the people that he's already screwed over and the people that he left behind at the EIC.
In which case, as thoughts of all these kind of people flash through your mind, as you know, the foresight allows you to kind of delve down the strands of possibility. You find yourself struggling to sort of look past, you keep on coming back to a singular point. It feels like you're going in circles. And what's distracting is this ephemeral voice calling your name. Algernon. Algernon. And every time you hear it, you feel yourself wrench back to what you feel like is square one. And every time you try to delve a bit further, you hear the voice and you're back to where you started. And trying to fight against this voice in your head, the potential stubborn streak that runs through you means you stay submerged in the foresight longer than you should. The burning sensation is almost dulled, almost like you've gotten used to it, until you hear Algernon. And as you turn, you find yourself in a black, inky void that coalesces into the grand hall of Cadwallader Manor. And stood in front of you is what you now know to be an Acervar woman with long black hair and concealing glasses. And there's a rhythmic beating. And as you turn to look through the windows of Cadwallader Manor, outside seems like it's crystallizing in blood red. And as you turn back to Blackthorn, the vision of Blackthorn in front of you, you notice that you can see into her chest cavity. You can see what looks like a large heart-shaped ruby, almost. It's time to wake up, Algernon, she says. And as you... as your head your eyes open, your mouth follow it, like opening as well, foresight falls down your throat, and as you splutter and cough and hurl yourself out of the bathtub, your arm catches the jar of the last of foresight, and you hear a smash of glass as it clatters to the floor, and you watch the foresight spread across, tinted with broken glass and what you recognize momentarily later as blood from the cuts on your forearm. And as you cough and hack up the foresight that made its way down your windpipe, the memory of her voice is seared in the front of your mind.
Oh.
Wow.
And what's your second downtime?
At least you're not stressed anymore.
That's done wonders for my anxiety. So, thinking of Sergeant Leach, I'm glad you reminded me about that little lie at the mausoleum. I'm going to send a few letters, send a few references to make sure he gets us tied down in red tape. People who actually want him to get this new job as much as possible, to make sure that lie comes, not even if it doesn't come to fruition, it just inconveniences him enough to get the guard off our case for a little bit, and that will reduce our heat.
Sure. Okay. Roll me. Which skill were you using to implement that?
I think it's swaying.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'd say that. I'd agree with that. So yeah, roll me a sway. See what happens.
5.
Okay. So that is 2 more heat off the tracker. You're
Yay.
down to 4.
Very good.
Very, very good. Okay, and that is Algernon. Cavern.
I'm going to do something a bit different, and I'm going to reduce some stress.
Oh, okay. Very novel. How are you doing that? Where are you doing that?
Oh, where do I go? I'm gonna pop back to the chandelier.
Spreadsheets are my sullying tonight.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm gonna pop back to the chandelier, I think.
Sure.
And see what I can find is happening there. I like to think that maybe I've gotten in some good graces with people who I've been chatting to at the Gold Pot, and maybe sort of invite them back to the Chandelier after they spent their money there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll for your indulge. It's what is it for you? It's a 1 dice indulge off the back of your insight.
My stress is 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. 1 dice. It'll do.
3. Okay. So 3 stress gone so far, taking down to 4. What's your next activity?
I've got an idea, but I would rather put it to the group if there is anything that they feel like would be better that I would do to help the crew first. If there's anything that we feel like actually needs doing, rather than me just sort of indulging in a small idea.
If you know anyone who's selling foresight, that'd be great.
I mean, do you want me to reduce any more heat? Or
I mean, you could focus on training or something if there's anything you want to train or craft or...
So it wasn't particularly training that I wanted to do. I actually wanted to, because we haven't checked in on them for a while, and I think in the back of Caverin's mind, he's still thinking about why the children of Aya wanted those items. And considering that the shield is now getting involved with all of this, and sort of like his conversation with the keepers regarding the garden keepers, I wanted to investigate what the children of Aya were currently up to.
Okay.
As I said, like, if anyone can think of anything else, I wanted to do like a little, as sort of like a long project, in a way, to see what they're currently up to.
Looks like you've got the approval of the crowd.
Cool.
Okay, so how are you kind of framing the investigation? What is it you're doing specifically?
I think it would be better for me to use sway, because obviously I've got more in it. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm going to be talking to more of sort of like the younger members of the Children of Aya, possibly ones that don't really know much about me. Sure. Obviously trying to keep out of the way of Dorothea. And maybe talk to some of the, sort of schmooze, some of the people who are sort of, shouting the streets. Yeah. And things like that. Yeah, absolutely. And see kind of what, try and actually get like a little bit more information rather than, oh, we're just great, we're going to save the Vale sort of stuff.
Sure. Okay. No, I'm on board with that. I'm going to start you off on a risky standard. I'm actually going to start you on a risky limited.
Okay.
So risky because there is the risk that someone may recognize you. Limited because you'll have to push. Like, it seems like the children are being kind of guarded about the reasons for the sudden kind of expansion of like faith drumming up.
Okay.
So yeah, starting you on risky, limited, and feel free to boost up. Regardless of what happens,
is this a devil's bargain, or if you just say no, this is going to happen?
No, yeah. So devil's bargain. Regardless of what happens, your investigation does not go unnoticed.
Who are all these nosy Parkers nosing into our business?
Nosing into our business.
There's always someone nosy lurking in the sidelines.
Lurking a peaky. Yeah, I'm going to take that bargain.
Okay.
Can I take that for a greater effect?
That'll take you up to standard, so risky standard. And then if you want to push, you could go up to greater, or you can get an extra dice. You can trade your position for effect. So if you take the Devil's Bargain, you've got one upgrade. You could push yourself to desperate standard to begin with.
What do you mean?
Help in downtimes.
Yeah. If Fata wants to tag along. So you're at risky limited to begin with, but you can worsen your position to increase your effect.
Okay.
Without the Devil's Bargain, it would become desperate
and
standard.
that's just baseline.
Right,
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's you kind of putting your neck out a bit more. But yes, if Atta wants to help, that's a stress for Atta.
Yeah, you're already pretty stressed out, so...
I am pretty stressed. I was mostly asking the question because I couldn't remember whether we could help during downtime
fair.
activities, so...
Atta asks, pointing at Algon on a magpie with their 0 stress.
And they help. No, I think...
Nice and relaxed.
I think I'm going to stick with that. I think I'm going to stick with a risky standard.
Okay, not pushing?
I think I'm going to keep my stress for the score.
Sure, okay. Okay, so, risky standard, resolve, and your snooping does not go unnoticed.
In sway, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you successfully work your way through the groups. You specifically find yourself targeting the groups of like newer recruits, like faces you don't recognize, on the hopes that they too don't recognize you. And you've cotton on quite quickly that the moment you kind of show that you have some degree of knowledge of Iron Faith, that you should, one of us kind of mentality, these kind of newer recruits like open up. The first thing you acknowledge is that these people are quite green, like green around the gills, like they are. So not green around the gills. They are sort of like new recruits. Like they are very new. They seem a lot more zealous than you would expect the Children of Ire to be. They're almost borderline like Shield of Elysia zealous. They're very, very pushy. Perhaps that's why they've been put on these drives to expand throughout the city. What is there a particular question that you are hoping to get answered?
I guess the one thing... Wow. I want to find out why they're collecting arcane artifacts. Is there another reason to be collecting arcane artifacts?
Sure.
But also if they have any idea of any big things that are happening. Like, is there any plans like that they know of?
So, one of the recruits tells you, well, that's simple. We're going after the artifacts because, well, they're blasphemous. They're heretical. They are steeped in the heresy of House Antalir and the arcane, and they are cursed with the attentions of a Khan. We can't be dealing with that in the city. We have to destroy them. We're doing all we can, obviously, to erase the stain of the arcane within the city. And just as the Garden Keepers proved, with such a grand gesture, I may grant her boon.
Her boon?
Well, yes. I mean, obviously, the High Priestess Lucragi and the other priests and priestesses, they are still they are blessed with Aya's magics, and they don't want to scare the people, which is why they keep their magical castings to a minimum. They don't want to upset the balance. But for the rest of us, the Aya is looking for us, but she cannot reach us. So the stream of magic from her is limited. But as the Garden Keepers proved, if you dedicate yourself to such a grand gesture that will carry favor with Aya, then surely it will act as a beacon with which she can find us and bestow upon us her power. And that's what we need to do. That's why we're trying to expunge all of Akan's filth from our city.
Well, that's very true, but obviously Aya's always wanted us to do that. Surely there must be something greater that we can do to guide Aya to our need.
The initiate looks around, and sort of like the other initiates are sort of like busy pestering citizens with like pamphlets and flyers and the like, and just stopping them. And like you see one person who's got this poor woman, like he's gripping her by the shoulders and he's like reciting holy scripture directly into her face. And she just looked utterly mortified and like scared of the encounter. But this initiate kind of leans you in, and well, yes, as I say, the gesture has to be grand. It would seem that the Garden Keepers were kind of cultivating a seed of Gogoldin for years, and I mean that's what that Gogoldin's grace saved us from that fire, that inferno just over a week ago. So if Aya is to save all of us, we need to make the offering as grand as it can be, which means we have to expunge all traces of the arcane from the city. And as he sort of like puts a hand on your, like puts an arm round you when he says like all of the stain from the city, and like gives you a very pointed look, and then his gaze slowly very briefly turns in the direction of Bell Tower Prison.
I don't like him.
Oh.
And once we've cleared the city, then our faith will radiate out and draw Aya to us.
Cavern sort of gathers himself from that sort of information and goes like, I see. Well, thank you. I will make sure to keep an eye out for those that may prevent us from seeing Aya's light.
Off the back of your bargain, a new clock appears.
Oh no, stop it with the clock. Cavern
It
is
will be
roped
called-
into genocide.
And it will be called Dorothea Arrives. And
don't
your
want her to
complication
We don't want that.
is 2 pips on the clock.
No. Stop it.
Cool. And that is it for Cavern.
Ugh.
Last but not least, what's Frida up to now she's back with the crew?
Okay. I think Frida would definitely like to de-stress. She hasn't seen Jocasta in the fighting rings for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So her first port of call is there. So yeah, she's gonna indulge in her vice. Get
Okay.
Punchy blackout.
It's actually Jocasta that steps into the ring. She seems somewhat irate that you went AWOL for so long.
I don't worry, woman. I haven't been cheating on your end, promise.
You say as you're dodging jabs and hooks. Okay, roll me a 0 dice indulge off the back of your insight.
Okay. No. Okay, one stress.
Jocasta lands quite a few heavy hits that you notice almost seem to be impeding your ability to fight and sort of like, punch the stress out. So you're down to 4 stress. What's your second downtime?
Okay. I want to be a bit sneaky here.
Uh-huh.
Breeder wants to sneak back to the kindling.
Okay.
And I would like to conduct a bit of a long-term project.
Okay.
Which is to, in essence, attempt to garner favour with the Infinite. Become one of his or their inner circle. But I do not want any of my crew to know.
Okay. Which skill are you using?
Which skill am I using? Consort. I mean, that's what I want to be. I want to become a consort.
Do you? You want to become the Infernite's consort? Think about it.
I know what consort means. I certainly want to consort with him. I do want to become. I want to become the Infinite's BFF if I can. I want to get close to him. I want him. If I can, I want my intent is to get myself into a position over a long-term goal that he feels that I am entirely aligned with his goals.
Second in command.
Yes.
I'm going to start this as a risky limited.
Okay. Do you want an idea of like how I begin this? Because I know I'm on the.
Well, bear in mind, so long terms we're now dealing with in one roll.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
oh boy,
we'll start you as a limited, a risky limited, so you can trade that for a desperate standard if you like, and then you build from there.
Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's do a desperate.
Okay.
Oh, gosh.
So you're starting on desperate standard.
Yep.
It'll be a consort. Are you pushing yourself?
Yeah, I just did a stress, so let's push ourselves.
It'll be 2. 2 stress to push.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay. No matter what happens, you are provoked to fight for the position.
Okay. So is that a devil's bargain as well?
That's a devil's bargain.
Okay. So where does that leave me?
So you've got 2 upgrades. So that's desperate standard. So you could go desperate greater and +1 dice, or you can leave it as in get +2 dice.
Let's do desperate great +1.
Okay, so 3 dice consort, desperate greater. You're attempting to wiggle into Velka's inner sanctum, inner circle.
Is that what they call it these days? Okay.
Oh yes.
I'm gonna see what's underneath all the leather.
You really don't want to see.
Okay.
Looks like a sous vide ham joint in there. That's...
Okay. Oh man, can you imagine just how much like talcum powder you'd need to get into that every morning?
Okay, roll them bones. 3 dice.
Oh god.
Oh god!
That is painful.
Oh,
2 ones and a
why?
3. That's horrendous.
Can I resist that? Is that something I can resist?
Wait and hear what the consequence is first.
Okay, so that's a 3. It's the worst outcome.
Right.
So first things first, roll me roll me a skirmish. Like risky stand, doesn't matter. I'm just looking for the dice roll.
Oh.
Just standard skirmish.
Oh.
There's the good bloody rolls, I see.
Okay. You have to you begin your. I suppose you're doing because you're doing it in. You're trying to do it in a short amount of time, right? And your sudden kind of interest in Velka piques the interest, like gains you the attention of none other than Jeff.
Jeff!
Who it would seem is also trying to curry favour with Velka.
Well, he's got a stupid name anyway.
Off the back of a partial success, Jeff challenges you to a fight which is stopped by Velka, but not before you suffer level 2 harm.
Oh no.
Okay.
And that will be like I'll figure out exactly what it is, like what fight it is. Like it. I mean, I think level 2 is like something's broken. Like you and Jeff have to savage each other during the space of this fight, which forces Velka to intervene. So that's your first one, level 2 harm.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Okay.
You also, Velka, off the back of Jeff's protestations, is suspicious enough to kick you out of the Kindle.
Oh.
That's your second outcome. So you can resist either.
And it
will reduce the severity of them.
Can I reduce the second? I don't want to be kicked out. If I have to take a broken bone for it, then
Sure.
sure. And I want to spin it in that, like, it just taking a broken bone shows my dedication.
Sure. So to resist it, it will be prowess. So you get 3 dice for this. You do get +1 experience in resolve because you did a desperate consort, and I can't remember. Kevin didn't go for that in the end, did he?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So yeah, if you resist the expulsion, then that will just mean you've lost favour. Like you've effectively gone all the way back down to bottom rung. So Velka will be very guarded around you, but at least you can still be around him. So yeah, you'll need to roll me a 3 dice resist for that.
Okay. And that's just straight prowess, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Oh my god! No! What is with these rolls? Ugh!
This is horrendous.
Damn it.
You suffer 3 stress.
No.
Oh. That fills my stress bar.
No!
which means that on the dirt, the visage of Velka bearing down on you, and his voice seemingly amplified in his rage, and the lenses of his goggles flashing with light. The realization of the consequences of your actions, all like the dam breaks, and you're washed away in the deluge of whatever trauma you have just obtained.
Ooh.
Wait.
And as we reduce your stress bar to 0 and add +1 trauma
Ooh.
to Frida, we'll call it there.
Come on.
I mean, we all knew I'd be the first one to get the trauma, didn't we? Let's be honest.
Oh.
Oh boy. Oh, that would have been such a good gambit.
I would have been.
Elsewhere, Elysia. Are you sure this is what you want me to do? A voice says quietly. In a dimly lit room, obscured by the thick incense fog that rolls through the air. And there's a jingling of jewellery as the Ornashi turns to regard the blonde Lorivar stood on the other side of the table to him. I was under the understanding that we were allies. We are, Songbird responds. But it would seem that our allies have got some somewhat unsavoury bedfellows. So I want you to do what I ask. Try not to be seen. But if you have to, make sure no one ever finds them. And the Ilnashi assassin nods, turns, and as he leaves, reaches out to pick up the double-bladed glaive that was propped up against the nearby pillar. By the name of my family, it will be done. Congratulations on completing episode 10.
Right.
What the fuck, man?
Achievement unlocked. We got some trauma.
Yay!
Yay!
Desperate for it.
So we're going to speak to Meg to find out what a way to come back. We're gonna speak to Meg to find out what trauma Frida is inheriting in time for the next job. But yeah, we'll see what the next score entails in the next session. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's character building.
Fun
Ah,
times.
that's what I keep saying.
So
You had to overindulge as well in the same sesh.
Yeah.
we went all. There were all sorts of pear shapes, weren't there? So, if you enjoyed that, make sure to hit the like button and comment down below on which of the traumas you think Frida should pick up on. And then we'll see if you're correct in the next episode. If you want to see more like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications of when we release new content. It's coming out weekly, plus all the other stuff that we're doing at the moment, and we wouldn't want you to miss out. So, yeah. With all that said, thank you for watching. Thank you lot for playing. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Ah!
I'm off
Bye.
to therapy. Bye.